When Imani finally decided to speak her truth, it didn't sound like another TV moment. It felt like freedom. There were no lights, no producers whispering instructions, and no one cutting her words into clickbait clips. This time her voice was hers. Sitting across from Reginae Carter, another daughter who knew the price of fame, Imani took a breath that felt like it carried years of silence. "Stop calling me Lil Scrappy's daughter," she said softly, but her tone shook the room. It wasn't shade or rebellion. It was a young woman reclaiming her own name after years of being trapped inside someone else's story. For the first time, she wasn't being introduced by who her parents were. She was speaking for herself. Growing up with Imani Dixon and Lil Scrappy meant that privacy was never an option. Every moment of her life was filmed, analyzed, and turned into content before she even understood what that word meant. Strangers felt entitled to her moods, her mistakes, even her silence. "My dad used to tell me just act normal," she laughed, remembering the first time a camera crew turned her living room into a set. But her eyes gave away the truth. Nothing about her childhood was normal. Every expression became a meme, every reaction turned into a headline. People didn't see a child. They saw a storyline. "They called me spoiled," she said, "but I was just trying to figure out how to exist." Still, there was no bitterness in her tone, only growth. Watching her parents survive years of public scrutiny had taught her strength the hard way. She'd seen her mom dragged through lies and her dad picked apart by blogs, but they never stopped showing up. "They're not what people think," she said quietly. "They're not messy. They're just human." It was simple, but it hit deep. The kind of truth that only comes from watching two flawed people keep trying to protect what matters most. Behind the fame, there was family. Behind the noise, there was love. But one name still made her energy shift: Bambi. Imani didn't say it directly. She called her that lady. Fans already knew the tension. Months of cryptic posts and interviews had made sure of that. But Imani's version wasn't messy or petty, it was tired. "Don't ask me about that lady," she said on a live stream that later went viral. It was supposed to be her prom week, the one night meant to celebrate her youth, but instead, the internet dragged her back into her father's drama. What she meant as peace, people twisted into disrespect. "I wasn't trying to be smart," she said in her interview. "That was me being respectful. Because if you come for my mom or my dad, you come for me." Her voice cracked on the last line, revealing something she'd hidden for years: how much all this truly hurt. That's the real Imani. Loyal, bold, but still learning how to heal from being misunderstood. While Bambi aired her frustrations online, Imani was just trying to pick her dress and enjoy her night. "She knew it was my prom week," Imani said, shaking her head. "Why post something like that?" The frustration wasn't about social media. It was about decency. She just wanted to be left alone. "People think being famous makes you strong," she said. "It doesn't. It just means your pain goes viral." Through all of it, Lil Scrappy stayed silent. No rants, no diss tracks, no interviews, just movement. While everyone else argued, he went on tour, smiling for fans who screamed his name at packed shows. "He handled it like a man," Imani said proudly. "She made a diss track with 11 plays. My dad was out making money." The comment was playful but sharp, a reminder that real success doesn't need to scream. Scrappy had chosen peace, and Imani carried that lesson like armor. Imani Dixon, meanwhile, moved with quiet grace. Years of surviving reality TV chaos had made her calm, unshakable. She didn't clap back. She let faith speak for her. "My mom taught me that every battle isn't mine to fight," Imani said. "She taught me to pray before I post." That kind of strength doesn't come from cameras. It comes from survival. Fans saw it too. The woman once known for her on-screen heartbreak had become the blueprint for how to rise with dignity. And watching Imani now, it was clear she'd inherited both her parents' best parts, her father's backbone, and her mother's composure. The most powerful moment came when Imani admitted how it feels to live under someone else's name. "They know who I am," she said. "They just don't care to say it." It wasn't resentment toward her father. It was exhaustion from being defined by his legacy instead of her own. "I'm proud of him," she added, "but I'm also proud of who I'm becoming." That line hit social media like a wave because it wasn't anger. It was maturity. She wasn't asking to be separated from her family. She was asking to be seen as part of it, but still her own person. Sitting beside Reginae, Imani laughed through the shared pain of growing up famous. "They still treat us like we're 12, she said. People jump in my comments saying they'll tell my mom I was outside too late. I pay my own phone bill. What are they gonna tell her? It was funny but real. A reminder that fame traps you in an image you've outgrown. And when you try to evolve, people call it attitude. But the truth is, Imani wasn't acting grown. She was grown. By the time she spoke about her plans, college, independence, her own future, the world started to see her differently. I want my own, she said. My own money, my own peace, my own name. And that's when it hit everyone watching. This wasn't about drama. This was about identity. She wasn't trying to be rebellious. She was trying to be free. But even freedom comes with backlash. Once the clip went viral, comments flooded in, half cheering her for her confidence, half calling her disrespectful. The irony was, the same people demanding she honor her parents were the ones tearing them apart every season online. It's funny, she said. People want you to be loyal, but they never protect you when loyalty hurts. Then came the reaction that reignited everything. Bambi's post. A black screen, white letters. Some kids forget who fed them. It was vague, but everyone knew who she meant. Within minutes, gossip pages screenshotted it, tagged it, and turned it into another trending topic. While fans took sides, Imani Dixon responded the only way she knows how, with grace. She posted a single quote, "When God fights your battles, you don't have to." The internet went wild. It was quiet, powerful, and classy. Exactly what made people respect her all these years. Still, insiders said she was livid behind the scenes. Not because of the words, but because a grown woman had targeted her child. Erica doesn't do messy, a source said. But she's protective. Especially when it comes to Imani. Through it all, Scrappy kept his head down. Tour clips showed him performing, smiling, taking pictures with fans. But those close to him say it weighed heavy on his heart. He hates that his baby girl even had to say something, one friend revealed. He raised her to stand tall, not to fight back with hate. And maybe that's why Imani stayed calm this time. No posts, no responses. Just silence. She went back to school, finished her semester, and proved that growth is louder than gossip. "Let them talk," she told a friend in a video that later went viral. "I know who I am." That one sentence summed up everything her parents had taught her. Strength through stillness. But chaos doesn't sleep for long. People started tagging Mama D asking for her take. And true to her royal reputation, she didn't disappoint. She went live the next morning, crown tilted, sipping tea, saying, "When you mess with royal blood, you get royal results." She didn't need to name names. Everyone already knew who she meant. The comments exploded. Within hours, Royal Child was trending beside that lady. Even in the madness, the message was clear. The family was done staying silent. Meanwhile, Erica remained calm in interviews, telling hosts how proud she was of her daughter's grace. "She's learned to handle herself with dignity," she said. "People have no idea what that girl's been through." And just like that, the narrative shifted. What started as another love and hip-hop style feud turned into something deeper, a story about growth, family, and generational healing. Imani didn't need to curse or expose anyone. She simply told her truth and let the world decide what to do with it. That's why fans called her Lil Scrappy's piece. She took her father's toughness and her mother's calm and built something stronger. Control. And that's what made people love her. Because for once, a reality TV kid wasn't chasing attention, she was demanding respect. Every time she stayed silent, the internet got louder, and somehow that silence became her power. She didn't just survive the chaos, she rewrote how it ended. Because being Lil Scrappy's daughter isn't an insult when you turn that name into a foundation instead of a cage. It's legacy. It's evolution. It's proof that even when the internet roots for your downfall, grace can still go viral. After that viral interview, everything around Imani went silent. But it wasn't the kind of silence that follows scandal. It was peace. For the first time, people weren't talking about her parents' mistakes. They were talking about her strength. The clip of her saying, "Don't call me Lil Scrappy's daughter," became more than gossip. It became a statement of self-worth. She didn't post or explain. She just disappeared from social media like someone who finally understood that power doesn't need an audience. Bambi, on the other hand, couldn't handle the quiet. Every post she made became a battlefield. The comment sections filled with clown emojis and that lady jokes until she turned off replies, emojis, and that lady jokes until she turned off replies completely. She tried to play victim, posting a dark screen that read, "People forget who helped them eat." Within minutes, blogs screenshotted it, and once again her name became attached to drama she couldn't control. But this time, nobody joined her. Erica Dixon didn't react, Lil Scrappy didn't speak, and Imani didn't blink. Silence became the family's revenge. Erica moved with the grace of someone who'd already survived too many storms to care about the thunder. Every time interviewers tried to bait her, she smiled and said, "My daughter is fine." That was it. No long rants, no subliminals, just peace. People started respecting her again, not as a cast member, but as a woman who grew past the show that tried to define her. Even critics who once called her dramatic began to admit she'd changed. Meanwhile, Scrappy kept doing what he does best, working. His shows were packed, his spirit lighter. In one city, he stopped mid-performance and told the crowd, "You can't fight rumors, you outlive them." The audience roared. That clip spread everywhere, and suddenly the same internet that mocked him was celebrating him. Behind that calm, though, was emotion he didn't show. A close friend said, seeing Imani stand up for herself broke him down. He realized he didn't have to protect her anymore. She was built for it. Back in school, Imani felt the shift. She walked across campus with a quiet confidence that came from surviving public judgment and still keeping her softness. Friends said she barely mentioned the chaos. When asked how she stayed so calm, she laughed. "God reads my comments before I do." That line alone summed up her mother's lessons and her father's peace. Then gossip blogs teased that Bambi was planning a tell-all interview. The headline screamed, "That lady finally speaks." But when it dropped, it flopped. Her answers were vague, her tone bitter, and the comments shredded her. "You had a chance to grow and you chose gossip," one fan wrote. Within hours, she turned off her page again. That was the moment the internet moved on, for good. As months passed, something beautiful happened off camera. Erica and Scrappy showed up together at one of Imani's school events, sitting side by side, smiling like old friends. No tension, no shade, just parents. A student snapped a photo, and when it hit social media, fans lost it. "Growth looks good on them," the caption read. Even people who used to root for their chaos were proud. For Imani, seeing them like that meant everything. "I never wanted to pick sides," she said later. "I just wanted peace." During a podcast weeks later, she was asked if she forgave Bambi. She paused before answering, her voice calm but certain. "Forgiveness doesn't mean you can reach me again. It just means I'm not carrying you anymore." That quote alone broke the internet. The same people who once called her spoiled were now calling her wise beyond her years. As the noise faded, Imani started using her platform differently. She spoke at youth panels about growing up famous and finding purpose outside of family drama. "Fame is an inheritance," she said at one event. "It's a test. If you don't learn who you are, it eats you alive." Her confidence wasn't forced, it was earned. Kids who had grown up watching her parents' chaos were now watching her healing. Erica kept her peace too. No more online wars, no more reality TV tears, just quiet business moves and motherhood. She was finally being recognized, not for her heartbreak, but for the woman she became through it. Scrappy started posting gratitude messages, quoting scripture, thanking his daughter for teaching him patience. "My baby girl made me a better man," he wrote under one photo. That one sentence did what no interview could. It told the world he'd grown. Even Mama D, the queen of drama herself, went live one morning smiling instead of shading. "The palace is calm," she said, "and my royal grandbaby is happy." For the first time, her live chat wasn't chaos. It was full of hearts. Maybe that's what healing looks like in their world. Not silence, just peace that no one expected. Bambi, meanwhile, faded away. Fewer posts, fewer mentions, no more subliminals. She'd become the echo of a story everyone had already finished reading. But Imani kept shining. Every appearance, every quote, every smile reminded people that growth is the best revenge. She didn't drag anyone down, she rose above them. Months later, she showed up on a red carpet in Atlanta. Simple dress, no entourage, just confidence. Photographers shouted, "Imani, over here!" Not her father's name, not her mother's, hers. Inside, she sat between Erica and Scrappy, laughing like peace had always been normal. The photo hit every blog within hours, and the comments said it all. "This is the family glow-up we prayed for." When a reporter asked if she still stood by her viral statement, Imani smiled. Always, she said. That wasn't about separation. It was about self-respect. And that's the truth that stuck. She never denied her bloodline. She just demanded her own name. The girl who once cried over comments had turned those same comments into applause. Later that night, she posted one picture, no captions, no tags, just her and her parents smiling. When fans begged for context, she replied with 3 words: "Peace feels real." It broke the internet again, but this time, it wasn't because of scandal. It was because everyone saw what healing looks like when you stop performing it. And that's how it ended. Not with a fight, not with a scandal, but with growth. Erica got her peace, Scrappy got his respect, and Imani Dixon got her name back. The world still calls her Lil Scrappy's daughter, but now it sounds different, like a badge of legacy, not ownership. Because she didn't erase where she came from. She redefined what it means. In the end, that sentence wasn't a rejection. It was evolution. It was a young woman showing the world that you can love your family, honor your roots, and still step out of the shadow. And that's why the story will always matter, because Imani Dixon didn't just end the drama. She outgrew it. She outgrew it.